I have no idea why it took us so long to review a warped cigar. It's not warped. It's the name of the company. It's the name of the people. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. And this from Warped is the Serie Gran Reserva 1988, made in honor of the founder's birthday. It was, and it's the classic Robusto, 5 1/4 by 50, which means it's 5 1/4 inches long. Always makes Fingers Malloy laugh. And 50 is the ring gauge, the diameter of the cigar, or how thick it is around. Again, with the laughter. So a 64 ring gauge would be a full 1 inch around. Cigar's been around for a while. I think this got released in 2017. I don't know why. I know people who smoke a Warped. They like it. Now, Warped makes a series of cigars, guys. They make a fair amount of brands. La Hacienda, Corto, Cloud Hopper. They're all in that that world, in that place. And honestly, it's not that I've ever heard anybody say anything bad. It's that it just doesn't come into my life much. So I wanted to, and especially as we get into holidays and we're thinking about gifts, let's get into the things that maybe haven't been tried as often and see if there are some things here that can really move us.
Yeah, I freely admit we have been to several cigar stores, cigar lounges over the years. I've never seen anything from Warped.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You're not looking enough.
I guess not.
You must be hanging out in either some really highfalutin places or some really low class.
Yes.
It's the latter. So this is a as we said, Robusto, 5 1/4 inches long. That is probably the most popular size that's out there. Corojo, a wrapper, Nicaraguan in the binder, and Criollo in the filler. So that Corojo is going to give you definitely a spice hit. It should give you a spice hit. And Fingers, you've already started.
It's given me a spice hit. And listen, I really like a spicy cigar. And this definitely, when you first light it, and we just lit this, as Tony said.
It sounds stuffy, like it's already messing with your nostrils. Like right there, like it gave you a little bit of hey now.
Yeah, a little bit of
hey now, Hank Kingsley.
Hey now. Hey now.
That's a Gary Shandling show. Actually, Larry Sanders show.
Yes.
It was Gary Shandling.
And
Larry
it was
Sanders show.
Brilliant show.
Brilliant.
Having said that, it is very much on the spicy side. And in fact, that's all I'm getting right now. And a tad bit of what you like to refer to as a scent of the farm.
No, you are not. You're making that up.
A tad bit.
Not happening.
No, it's not happening.
Maybe. What do I know? It's a beautiful look. I got to admit that it's a little oilier than I thought it would be. And it's got that. It's a very classic cigar color. Like if you were going to picture Churchill chomping on something while he's yelling about Gallipoli. By the way, Gallipoli references. Try and get that on another show, people. It's just got that look. For me, the Robusto size is never big enough. It's just not where I live and breathe. But it is still the most popular size. There's a reason for that, for the amount of time people have, and also for a price point where people are. So I said I got to give it a go. But it's a nice little smoke, man. I'm questioning whether I've cut it a little too shallow here. I did a straight cut on this. I might cut it a little bit more, but very, 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 very good.
Well, you know what I always say, Tony, measure once and cut 3 times.
That's why you built your own home on a hill.
Yes, but this 5 1/4 by 50, doesn't it feel a little heavier than you're expecting?
Yes. I almost wish it like the heft makes me feel like it should be a 52 or a 54. I should have a little more cigar to grab onto for sure. And I just got my first spice hit on there. Took a couple puffs to get it. I was getting a little like kind of like a wood thing going on.
I can see that.
But this is smoking very, very well. And I think it's going to smoke pretty big. You know, I think that people would look at this cigar and see it as a medium, But with that spice, for some people, from Warped, the Serie Gran Reserva 1988, it might play in a medium full. The whole point of doing it was to get out of comfort zones. I'm a Churchill guy. I am a double Corona guy. I am a Toro at the minimum guy. I like Lanceros. The length of a cigar absolutely matters to me. But I also love the Eye of the Bull, which is Arturo Fuente, which is a 3.5 inch stick. You got to get out of the comfort zone. You got to try different things. Thus, we're doing this from Warp, the Serie Gran Reserva 1988. What you want to do is get out your notebook. What did you eat today? What did you drink today? You want to write that down. Some nice weather, been a little bit warmer here in Indianapolis, Indiana, where we broadcast from. And then break the cigar up to thirds in your mind. First third, second third, final third. And then write notes. What are the kind of flavors you're getting? Doesn't matter how obscure, doesn't matter how strange. Just write down the idea. Do that for each third of the cigar. Then when you go back to that cigar a month later or 6 months later, whatever it is, you do it again. You compare your through lines, compare your notes, and that'll tell you where your palate is for the cigar, where your palate is in general. And that spice is there. It started, as I said, a little wood, a little cream, I should actually say. And I should say creamy almost in a texture way. But right now, spice and no, not a scent of the farm for me.
Oh, that's interesting. The other thing that's interesting, at least to me, is right now I'm pairing it with a cola. And I'm not thinking that's a good pairing.
A cola?
A cola.
A sugary cola?
Yes.
Oh, you can't do that.
That's what I just got done saying. It's
you
not.
Put that away. Why do you even have that? How long have you been doing this? You're a trained professional.
You drink Diet Coke half the time you have a cigar.
Diet Coke, absolutely.
It's a Pepsi Zero.
Oh, that's no. Look, coffee, water, bourbon, yes. And not all those. Diet Coke, absolutely, because it's the cleanest, and it actually, I think, helps reset the palate. I think it's a very clean thing to do. Pepsi Zero is still going to have all that Pepsi schmutz in it.
I've heard people, they like to drink it with a cream soda. I've heard Dr. Pepper.
I don't even know what you're saying. Dr. Pepper with a cigar?
Oh, it's all over the periodicals.
Periodicals and Gallipoli. Yeah, take that, Joe Rogan. We got you dead to right.
I saw someone the other day write an article in Cigar Aficionado how they like to enjoy a nice Churchill with a Slurpee.
You're not. No, wait. Oh, please. Do not sue. You know what? Maybe for the publicity. Oh, the question, Fingers Malloy, is this in our humidor? I got to admit, it really does feel nice. You're right about the heft. There's a nice bit of oil on here. It's an attractive, simple look. And it's so far an interesting flavor profile with that spice. Is it in the humidor? We will get to that. The Warped Serie Gran Reserva 1988 Robusto there, 5 1/4 by 50. Find everything we do at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. At this stage of the game, Fingers Malloy, every day is an Amazon Prime Day.
Ain't that the truth? Unless you're buying a copy of one of our books, Tony. What are they called again?
We have Let's Go Bourbon, and we have Let's Go BBQ. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is Fingers Malloy, and he's doing just a shameless plug for our books, Let's Go Bourbon and Let's Go Barbecue, available at Amazon.com. Same low price every day of the week, no matter what comes. Amazon is now doing October Prime Day sales. Why? Why are you applauding this? Every dang day with the Amazon Prime Days.
You know why, Tony?
How many Roombas does one man need? I have 14 air fryers, and I know it's a scam. I might as well be... Air fryers are a scam. You're all crazy. I have spoken. Thank you.
And where can all of the air fryer fans out there get in touch with you, Tony?
Oh, they can email me at taylorswift@gmail.com.
I'm just happy that you have 14 air fryers. That means you can make a hot dog in every room.
You should just shut your face. They are coming on, when is it? October 8th and 9th.
Mm-hmm.
October Prime Day sales. They will continue for 48 hours in the U.S. and 17 other countries. 17 countries. So, for example, let's say you live in Luxembourg.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in Luxembourg, you don't need an Amazon Prime Day sale. You can afford whatever you want. But the people in Singapore, same exact thing. In Turkey, United Kingdom, Sweden, Spain, Portugal, and Poland, they are all getting the deal.
And by the way, hello to all of our listeners in Poland.
Yes.
The podcast is very big in Poland.
And so it should be.
You can find Eat, Drink, Smoke on your favorite podcast platform.
And in Polish, it is Eat, Drink, Smoke.
So true.
Oh, I think people thought we were going to do a Polish joke right there.
People make Polish jokes?
Turns out.
Wow.
I, for one, was shocked. What possibly could I be getting? What deals can I get from my new Prime Day coming up?
I'm glad you asked, Tony.
Okay, well, we did rehearse.
Because now I'm going to speculate. And being that there are 77 billion products available on Amazon, I'm probably not going to be wrong.
I've got one of them right here.
Oh.
The trendy Queen women's oversized hoodie fleece sweatshirt.
Finally.
I will order this for Mrs. Malloy right now.
Where are you getting this deal?
So I was on the story, and it says, "What is Prime Day? The exclusive shopping event boasts rare deals across all categories." And I clicked on it. It brought me some deals.
Oh, I see it. So this, let me paint a picture for our radio audience. It's a giant sweatshirt.
Right.
Looks like a Snuggie.
That's what a Snuggie it is. Then you can get the JBL Vibe Beam True Wireless Earbuds. So when you do the show, right? So I understand that Fingers does the engineering of the show, sound and everything else. And he wears headphones during the show over the ear. I don't wear anything during the show.
He is fully clothed.
Hell, I'm not fully. I don't wear any earphones. I don't wear any earbuds at all. I cannot do over the ear anything. I can't. My ears sweat when we are like doing like a live event. And so you have to use like the headset mics. It's got the over the ear. I hate that. I can't stand it. It's absolutely terrible. So you're comfortable in those?
Yes, because I've been doing this since 1979. So I'm used to having headphones on. So it's really not a problem. I actually don't like the earpieces, and I really don't like the earbuds unless they have the little clip that goes over your ear, because I always feel like they're going to fall out.
Yeah. So they have to have the rubber tip. They have to have some level of cushion that'll fit in. And that was my question. When you look at these like JBL like wireless earbuds, right? It's the same concept as an AirPod. Is there really a difference? At some moment, I get that there are certain drivers, certain things that are happening, certain ways they're constructed, sure. But that's got to be at like $9 bajillion.
Yeah.
At the 40 to 200 range, is there really a difference?
I'm sure there is, but to me, it all depends on what you listen to. If you're listening to podcasts, if you're listening to YouTube videos or something like that where you're not listening to music, why do you need to spend $300 on earbuds to get the high quality sound of two people talking? I honestly, I don't understand it.
I'm still weirded out by wireless.
Yeah.
So when the Bluetooth earpiece in the day, do you remember the Bluetooth earpiece? Mm-hmm. And I had one and I wore it.
Oh,
and then,
you weren't the guy walking around the grocery store with your Bluetooth in your ear.
Look, I'm not proud of everything in my past. Right? But I soon came to say to myself, so when I put this on, this is basically a sign saying, cancer, go here. Yes. Right? And then I stopped doing it. I've been wired ever since. But my kids go wireless. And I have to assume at this stage of the game, there's enough market research to make me feel that you're not going to get cancer from it.
Absolutely. I'm sure they would share any kind of...
Oh, you are the worst human being.
You didn't even let me
finish
the
you are
sentence.
such a lowlife.
Didn't even let the rest of the. No, everybody
finished.
knew where I was going with it, and on top of it, like you said earlier, about our fine friends over at Cigar Aficionado, I don't want to get sued, so I'm sure they're completely safe. For me, though, I still remember when the AirPods first came out. My daughter was in marching band, and they had a competition down at.
Down at the old watering hole?
Yes, down at the old watering hole.
Where the marching band used to hang out?
Yes, the Colts Stadium. The Indianapolis Colts Stadium. The Colts Stadium there.
They play the football. They're 0-2.
Yeah.
By the way, how'd your Lions do?
Yeah, they lost.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's a 17-game season.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. But anyway,
1-16.
Her friend, an AirPod flew out of his ear and right down a sewer grate in downtown Indianapolis. And I thought to myself, there needs to be a wire. There needs to be a clip over the ear, because I would go crazy if you just buy your kids AirPods and then, mom, dad, it dropped in the city sewer.
And the original ones didn't have that rubberized thing. They were just kind of slick. I'm like, I could never figure out how people use them. How did you think these were comfortable? For what I do, right? So the radio stuff I do, TV, etc. You were there. I have the molded to my ear earpiece. I have like 3 of them, and I plop that in, whoop, and
that's what
like that. Whoop. Right, exactly. That's how it goes, and it's perfect. It's totally fine. I can wear that all day.
I don't understand how you can listen to music, and gosh, this has turned into grandpa radio. Listen to music with those the AirPods in, where they have a lot of bass.
Oh wow, you wow!
Why doesn't anybody listen to music on the old Victrola anymore?
Well, we got to finish up the show quick, because someone's got to go down before the sun does. Otherwise, it's gonna get so much bass.
Bass.
You're a treasure. Eat, drink, smoke. It is your cigar, bourbon, foodie extravaganza. I'm Tony Katz. By the way, extravaganza. First time in 4 years I've ever said that.
5
I want to apologize. It's been 5 years?
Yes.
Well, then maybe I've said it twice. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy, smoking from Warped, WARPED, Warped Cigars. This is the Serie Gran Reserva 1988, 5 1/4 by 50. Cigar with that Nicaraguan Corojo wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler with the Criollo. There is spice on this cigar, Fingers Malloy, and it really wants you to know it. It desperately wants you to know it.
I got to be completely honest, because that's what I am here on Fingers Malloy.
Yes.
On Eat, Drink, Smoke.
When you're doing your own show there in Michigan, when you're writing, when you're here on Eat, Drink, Smoke, you are known as Honest Fingers.
That is so true.
That is so true.
I'm only getting spice on this cigar and nothing else.
This is big. If you like a spice bomb, here you go. What's interesting is that we're not saying, and you did not say, pepper bomb.
No.
Spice bomb. Very, very different. And if there's a way to kind of distinguish this, is that it isn't like this big black pepper hit. There is just it's almost like there's a mix going on. It's not red, right? To me, it is black and white pepper, and they have different flavors. You smoke enough, that is something you can actually start to pick out. Whether there's a spice that's just pungent, and then there's a spice that kind of creeps up on you, kind of is mellow in its build. This is both, in my view.
Would you say it's bold?
See, are you asking seriously?
Yeah, I actually am asking seriously.
No. What I would argue is that it is present, ever present. Now, I will admit it isn't thin. So sometimes when you get a cigar that has a tremendous amount of pepper, a pepper bomb kind of thing, that's all you get, and it's monotone. I would argue that there's a touch of lusciousness going on. There's definitely a saliva build going on the palate, and that's very, very real. That right there is something worth noting. That there's a little more fullness to it, and this is not where I smoke. This is not my flavor palette. This is not my profile in the slightest. But I can appreciate the fact that while I'm getting the spice in the cheek, on the tongue, back of the tongue, I can feel it everywhere in the sinuses. There's also this little bit of this little bit of luscious, this little bit of texture, of thickness happening that makes it palatable.
Yeah, I completely
For my palate.
I completely agree with you about the spice because it's not just white pepper, although it does feel like it's definitely white pepper present in a big way. There's something more to it than that.
Sure.
We're still in the first third. I keep waiting for the spice to either for me to get used to it or for it to subside a little bit. No, it's there. It's staying there. It really lingers on the palate. And this isn't a complaint. Would this be my everyday go-to cigar? Absolutely not. We haven't talked price point yet, but this is something that I would, depending on how much it costs, I would like to have one of these in my humidor every once in a while, just for a change of pace.
I was going through how some others view this. Like every now and again, when a cigar like confounds, like I wonder how other people do this. So I often check out what Aaron and John do over Developing Palates. I think they do a very, very good job. And then what Half Wheel does in some of their reviews. And I don't know who did this one. Brooks. So this goes back to 2018. Brooks Whittington. I was like, I wonder what he got out of the cigar. And his argument, he caught it as more creamy and with coffee, corn, and cocoa. Now, I don't feel coffee at all. The problem is when you hear those things, you can make yourself believe it. That is so there. The power of suggestion in the marketing of bourbon, in cigars, it's really, really there. But the corn one is a really interesting idea because when we're talking about thickness, when we're talking about that little bit of luscious, you could almost see that. You're not talking about tasting corn, but if you thought about the way it feels as you chew it, and mixed it with the flavor of this big spice hit, you'd be like, okay, that's where I'm at. So I think corn is a really, really interesting look.
And to be fair, we are still both in the first third. So maybe as we get into the second third and the final third, we will get some of these notes that he's talking about. And, I'm certainly going to argue with him. But right now, for me, it's just spice.
Yeah. So no, the question is this in your humidor? This is the 5 1/4 by 50 warped Serie Gran Reserva 1988 at $9 a stick.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Again, not an everyday smoke for me. Maybe not every fifth cigar for me, but maybe once, every couple of months. Absolutely.
So for the person who likes spice, this is a great deal. Mm-hmm. This is not in my humidor because it doesn't fit my flavor profile in the slightest. There is nothing about this that makes me say I want to grab it. The important thing to remember there is who the hell am I? That's the important part. When doing this, you have to know for you if you like this the spicier, if you like that intensity. My gosh, you should run out and try this.
Well, what if there's a radical change towards the final third?
At this moment, the answer is no. I'm still in the first third.
Okay.
Ask me again when we get through the second third whether or not it's in my humidor. Absolutely true. I have to wait until I finish it. It is time, Fingers Malloy, for News of the Week.
Tupperware, Tony. Well,
no.
Unfortunately, not enough people are applauding Tupperware, or at least they are not purchasing Tupperware. They've filed for bankruptcy, and they're looking for a buyer. They're going to keep in business. They're going to keep going for at least the next 30 days while they try to find someone to buy it. But it's not good news for Tupperware.
Wow. I mean, it's the name, right? We call it Tupperware. That's what it's like. Kleenex. It's the name. It's not a tissue. It's Kleenex. It's what we call it. That's crazy. But I got to assume someone buys it, or is it a 1970s old school name that has simply lost its luster?
Has it gotten to the point where when we think of food storage containers, it's not something that we want to keep for 15 years? I mean, food storage containers have gotten
disposable.
Yeah, it's gotten so cheap now that people will use them for a little while and then go out and buy some new storage containers for a low price instead of popping for the expensive Tupperware.
But wouldn't you want the name? And then you could put it on the plastic stuff?
Do you think that name means anything to younger kids anymore?
I don't. That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know. When you buy a Band-Aid, do you buy Band-Aid?
I buy generic.
Do you really?
Yes. I'm always looking to save $1.
Plastic, or do you do like the cloth stuff?
Okay. You're embarrassing me a little bit. It's been a while since I've been Band-Aid shopping.
Is that right?
Yes.
Always the cloth stuff, and I want it to have the seal all the way around. I want it to fully encapsulate the wound, to accelerate the healing process. I watched 3 episodes of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and I know a lot more of those people would be alive if they had an adhesive bandage that encapsulated the wounds.
For me, tourniquet for everything.
You know what I like about you? No. You're prepared for all the options. You want to talk about something weird? I carry one in my briefcase.
A tourniquet?
Yes, I do. You want?
Where do you hang out?
Well, you know, Daddy likes to be prepared. Yeah, that is a true story. We'll talk about it later. Dateline, Springfield, Ohio. Okay, we're not in Springfield right now. We're in Indianapolis. But Fingers Malloy and I took a road trip because if everybody in America is going to talk about the Haitian population and immigration and what's going on in Springfield, we're like, all right, let's take a road trip. It's 2 hours from Indianapolis. We hopped in the family truckster and we took a drive. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. Find everything at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. This is not a political conversation. Whatever your politics are, they are. We have ours. You have yours. This is how we stay friends. This is about what we saw, what we experienced, what we understand now that maybe we didn't before, and where people are, you know, if we were to follow social media and actually believe it to be true, everybody, Fingers Malloy, is clinically and criminally insane.
Absolutely.
Out of their heads.
You and I made the trip, and what was amazing to me, and again, let's just talk policy.
We didn't have to stop for one bathroom break?
That doesn't surprise me. I've got the bladder the size of a large bladder. Having said that, what surprised me was how many people on social media, whether they were left wing or right wing, seemed to be angry that we made the trip.
It was crazy. It was surreal. People, it's as if they had made up their mind about what was going on, and any information could shatter what they already decided. So how dare we go? It was just a fool's errand. We were just trying to make ourselves look cool. We wanted to know what was going on. People are eating dogs and cats. We're Eat, Drink, Smoke. Maybe we should be looking into this. We go to Springfield. First place we stop at is a cigar lounge.
Yes.
First thing we do, I blew, I think, like $150 on cigars. I take 2 of those, 6 of those, take some of those naked lady teas, a couple of golf balls, like I'm Ronnie Dangerfield in Caddyshack. And so the guy is there, and we're like, so what's been going on? And the guy, I swear to you, this is what he said. Could not have any less of an opinion. Now, maybe because people have been coming to town and asking the question, he's got a business to run, he's not interested. He's like, everything's fine. My life is normal. I stay out of it. It was like, okay.
And it actually made me pause briefly because I thought to myself, this was the first place that we wandered into in Springfield. And by the way, we were in town for about a minute and a half and we came across a car accident, which is one of the things that people in Springfield talk about is the amount of auto accidents that are happening in the town since the Haitian immigrants have come to Springfield. There's a big spike in auto accidents. But when we talked to him, he was the first person we talked to. And I thought to myself, is this going to be a theme where people are going to be reluctant to talk about the issues because they have so many people from out of town asking questions? But then later on, we found out that there were plenty of people willing to talk, and not just people on the political right. I think it's fair to say that we talked to plenty of people on the political left too.
Everybody, right? So it's not that we spoke to thousands of people. The people we spoke to who were more than happy to share their thoughts were from all parts of the aisle. They were women, they were men, they were younger, they were older. It was everything. So we wanted to know a couple things. First, is there this massive influx of people? And secondly, how is it affecting the way that they live? First things first, it's not that they have all of a sudden had 15,000 to 20,000 Haitian migrants dropped at their doorstep. That's not what happened. These people are not here illegally as far as the law is concerned. There's something called TPS, temporary protected status, because Haiti is going as it has for years. It's a horrible political scene. It's very, very dangerous. And so people are looking for a way out. So America, through policy, has said, sure, and here you go. So some, not the full 15,000 plus, have been resettled in Springfield, Ohio, and they have family in other places because they may have been settled in other places. And for reasons being economic, they've come to Springfield. So the first issue that you come to is that you take a town of 60,000 people, and you can describe Springfield. You're a Midwest guy. Fingers, you grew up in Saginaw, Michigan. You understand what it's like to have a town that was reliant on the plant or the factory, and then the factory closed, and that town was never the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what Springfield looked like as an outsider coming in. It was a manufacturing town at one time. I believe one of the business owners said, I believe Navistar was the manufacturer that was there, and the plants close, and the city is on a decline when that happens. And there's still some businesses and some manufacturing in the town, and they needed workers, and that's how the Haitians started to gravitate to Springfield because there, according to people in the town, there was a shortage of workers, or at least according to business owners. And I don't know how much you want to get into some of the other stuff.
Well, let's start with what Springfield looks like. There are the downtown street, which is really 1.5 streets, is beautiful. There's a clear opportunity there they're trying to take advantage of to regrow that. They do have some arts that they're trying to build. We had a fantastic lunch. I had a Wagyu cheeseburger, guys. That's what I had for lunch there. And it was in a food hall. There were like 7 other places, and people were milling about and eating, and grandma walking with the grandkids, all drinking milkshakes. There was nothing from the visual that showed an issue. We went to a park. Kids were playing soccer. People were playing pickleball. Nothing that showed an issue by any stretch. Here's the couple of things that we take away from it. The people of Springfield have no issue with people coming to their town. Absolutely none. They have an issue with so many people that it's overwhelming the services. They don't have enough police. They don't have enough ability to take care of the social services. They don't have enough dollars to handle these people who have been relocated there. And on the local level, on the state level, and on the federal level, they're angry that more hasn't been done to help them. And then when they say, hey, we're having a real problem, people have the audacity to say, well, it's because it's Haitian refugees and you're just racist. And they're like, why are you calling us racist? You increased our population by 30% or 20%, 30%. We simply can't absorb this many people this quickly over the span of 3 years. We can't do it. And you did this to us.
Yeah. And to compare it, it would be like 2.5, 3 million immigrants just showing up in New York City. That's the numbers we're talking about compared to, 20,000 to, versus the 60,000 population. But, the residents talked about how rent has gone absolutely through the roof.
Yep.
And car insurance has gone through the roof because of all the automotive accidents. One thing that struck me the most was, to a person, they love their hometown.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And they're proud of their hometown. And they're proud of the way they're dealing with a challenging situation. They just feel frustrated that they feel like they've kind of been left behind with, there's federal dollars coming in, but there doesn't seem to be any guidance as to how they can maneuver through this situation.
So what we took from just a cursory of Springfield, that it has its nice areas and it does have its bad areas, just like any city. They are dealing with this issue that has exacerbated issues that already exist. To a person, no one said that people are eating dogs and cats. To a person. Now, we had a series of people say, now geese are being killed. And yes, that seems to be an issue, not the dogs and cats. Now, we've got more on this, but just wanted to give you just a basic overview that there's a real economic problem there that once you take away the madness still remains and has to be solved. So that's what we caught out of Springfield. I get me a lot of gifts. It's not that I buy them for myself. It's that people are like, hey, you're a bourbon guy. Here's a bourbon you can try. And sometimes, in all times, it's very, very sweet and kind that somebody would take the time to give you a bottle of bourbon. Give me a bottle of bourbon, Fingers Malloy.
Wow, the kind of gifts I get are, you're a gas station food kind of guy. Here's some gas station food.
Well, you got to know your brand. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. I get a lot. And I received a bottle of something called Obtainium, Kentucky whiskey. And I looked it up. And the only thing I could find is that it came from a place called the Cat's Eye Distillery in Bettendorf, Iowa. And after that, I could find nothing. They're known mostly for a light whiskey. Now, light refers to flavor, not so much the proof. And this is something that's usually a pretty high corn content to it. Because remember, bourbon is going to be 51% corn by law. This, being a whiskey, doesn't fall into the bourbon category because it doesn't, in possibly some ways, reach to levels of proof. That is a light whiskey. But this said Kentucky whiskey, not Kentucky bourbon. And I said, I don't know what I'm dealing with here. But it's 6 years aged in the oak. It's number 112 of 209 bottles. And it comes in, Fingers Malloy, at 125.4 proof. So I said, all right, I'll give it a go. Obtainium, Obtainium. Obtainium.
This is one of the strangest reviews I think we are ever going to do because, usually we like to do a little bit of homework before we get on the air and do a review. And you can't find anything about
Zero.
This.
Absolutely. I have no way to obtain the Obtainium. I don't know where it sells. I don't know if it still sells. I tried to go to the website, couldn't find it. You were searching high and low. I believe you even asked Jeeves.
I did. I asked Jeeves. I DuckDuckGo'd.
Is that right?
I think so. I Googled.
Did you check with Tom on MySpace?
He was unavailable.
And he says he's your friend. So we said, look, it's here. It's the proof that Fingers Malloy desperately loves. Let's try something stupid.
I'm really excited about this.
When someone gives you a gift, as long as it's sealed, you totally try it.
Absolutely. And we want to thank Fred, Jim, Bill.
All of them.
Yes.
All of them for the gift. Now, the first thing about this is it is outrageously light. It looks like a Pilsner. That's the kind of golden color that it is.
It's almost yellow.
It is almost yellow. We've got this in the Glencairn glass. Neat. That is that odd shape. It's the foot, and then it kind of bows out and comes in, so you can really concentrate the nose. I was saying really concentrate the nose, and Fingers went to put his nose in, and he just pulled it away and said, "Oh, jeepers Nelly."
That's exactly what I said. You know, it's really nice because I did it under my breath. Tony, because we've been doing this show now for 44 years,
right,
knew exactly what I said, even though he couldn't hear it.
But what is that nose? Big ethanol?
Here's the deal.
Should I try it?
You try it. I stuck my nose in there and I breathed a little too deeply, and that's what hit me. Was originally there was a little bit of ethanol that hit me on the nose, but then I sat back. It's like, okay, take a second, clear the old nostrils, and do it again. And it's sweet. There is just a hint of ethanol.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a cocoa action going on.
Well, maybe a little bit more than a hint of ethanol.
Yeah, a little bit more than that.
And a little bit of vanilla, maybe?
I think there's a touch. I'm trying to figure out the fruit that I'm getting out of this, and I'm not 100% sure.
Are you getting any ethanol?
Yeah, I'm getting any ethanol. It's weird. For me, it's going to sound dumb, it's banana and pineapple. There was for a moment there a touch pina colada.
And marzipan
going on. Now, a little bit of cocoa, a little bit of vanilla, and a little bit of kind of like a punchy fruit.
Here's what's not there. There's no oak.
No, I'm not getting that so much either. But it's a pleasant nose. It is. There's some ethanol. Don't get me wrong. It stings the nostrils.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty pleasant. The Obtainium Kentucky whiskey. This was distilled in 2013, bottled in 2019, and it's just been waiting for a moment like this. Fingers Malloy, forget the talk on the Obtainium Kentucky whiskey, the Master Collection series. You ready for this?
I've been ready for this all day.
He is doing what is known as the Kentucky Chew, moving it around the palate, getting a feel for the bourbon. Sometimes you want to take 2 sips. The first to set the taste buds, the second to really get an idea of what flavors are there. Fingers, you don't look okay. Oh, really? He winced. He winced, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my. Oh, say words, Fingers. Say words. Oh, my gosh.
Oh.
Are you all right?
Oh, Nelson.
Oh, he took another sip. Oh, Nelson, into another sip goes Fingers Malloy. Right there.
Okay.
You all right?
First of all.
You going to be all right? Do I need to call anybody?
That's over 120 proof. It hits you. It hits you on the palate. It hits you in the chest. There's a sting on the tongue. There's a burn in the chest. I'm getting a lot of chocolate and maybe a little bit of dark fruit. And man, it packs a punch. I like it.
All right, I'm going in. The Obtainium Kentucky whiskey, 125.4 proof. Oh, yeah. Oh, here I go.
He's going in, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing what we like to call the Saginaw Swish, the Memphis Munch, the Springfield Swig.
Oh. Hello. It's not until you can move. Oh, wow. Because you move it around the palate and there's a little sting to the tongue. You're
little?
Like, okay. But once you swallow it, then it all kind of connects and you're like, that. Oh, wow. Oh, that is a beautiful finish. Oh, that is fruity. There's almost like a berry. Is it a berry cream?
You're not getting any chocolate?
I get your point, but it might play for me a little differently. It's what you're getting on that tongue. It's like the coating you're getting on the tongue there. Oh, you feel you don't. It's weird. There is no burn in the chest at all, but you feel it in the gum line. Like that's not supposed to happen. The Obtainium Kentucky whiskey, 125.4 proof. We'll talk about it coming up. So Fingers Malloy was very surprised. I mean, he's known me a long time, but he was very surprised that in my briefcase, at all times, I have a tourniquet. And he's like, what is actually wrong with you? It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is Fingers Malloy. Find everything we do at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. And don't forget, it's not too late to get ready for Christmas. Our books, Let's Go Bourbon and Let's Go BBQ, Let's Go Barbecue, available at amazon.com. Just search for Let's Go BBQ or Let's Go Bourbon, and you can get them both. Great stocking stuffers. Order 100 copies of each.
If you can still get a hold of a copy, because as we know, when you order something from Amazon, supplies are limited.
You're the weirdest.
So go rush out and get a copy today while you still can.
So I have a tourniquet in my briefcase.
Well, you didn't tell me it was a combat application tourniquet. Then I would have totally understood and believed you.
This a couple years ago, started doing this, started carrying this in there. And I'm not a prepper, nor do I believe that the end of the world is nigh. But I'm very aware that outside of the work I do at Eat, Drink, Smoke, people have gotten nutty politically. And as we've seen with a second attempt on former President Trump, whether you like President Trump or not, it's inconsequential. The temperature is rising. And I know that people who are not okay will do not okay things. And we've seen outside of the political realm just horrific acts of violence. And I said, I would like to be prepared. I would like to know that in the case of something traumatic, that I could take care of myself or help someone take care of me, or I could take care of another. So I just keep it in like a plastic Ziploc. It's not only a tourniquet, but it is what's known as quick clot. And if somebody has like a serious wound, you basically just stuff it in there. And it's designed to help stop the bleeding and keep somebody alive.
This is weird because I was talking to an acquaintance of mine who knows what I do, and he showed me a picture of the quick clot. He said, you need to get a bunch of this stuff and have it around. And it was the first I had heard of it, and now it's right in front of me. I mean, this right here, I wasn't expecting you to pull this out of your briefcase. My briefcase, it has assortment of meats and cheeses, right. Some crackers.
It's called charcuterie in a bag.
Have you ever applied a tourniquet before?
Not practiced, but never actually have had to do one. And I get that people are like, dude, that's mental. I reject the premise. There are people who are prepared for if something bad should happen, and they've got food and water and this and that, and they can handle years, right? They can handle years. And then there are people who can handle months, and then there are people who can't handle anything at all. I don't understand the not being able to handle anything at all. I have food that can last my family 3 months. You know, we've gone 1 month. We've sometimes parted up higher. 3 months is really where we're comfortable, you know, with what we have in the house, what we can properly store and keep an eye on. You know, sometimes you can argue if there's a problem that lasts longer than 3 months, well, then you've got bigger problems than running out of food. Very often, people, it's 3 days. And that came from watching these videos of a storm comes through and large flooding comes through. And 3 hours later, people are looting the local grocery store. And I like at this stage, I think that's just a fear thing. Or it's just like an expected thing. It's like when people were doing Black Friday and everything was a big fight. And now no one really does Black Friday anymore because you're buying everything online.
Yeah.
But it's almost as if the anger and the angst and the thing was expected. But more to the point, you mean you can't go a day? You don't have a day
That's what
that you can handle without power or a flood being around? That's frightening.
That's what I find fascinating about when you live in a major city. Okay, I'm not talking about you live 30 miles from a grocery store, and you hear a winter storm is coming, and the amount of people that will run to the grocery store and buy everything off the shelves. If you're in a major city, chances are within 2 days, 3 days tops, the roads are going to be clear and you're going to be able to move on with your life. But the idea that people run and buy up all the milk and all the canned goods, and it's like, how long do you think this is going to last? That's what I find fascinating. But we had a trial run when it comes to the prepper kind of stuff with COVID, right? I mean, people were running to Costco and buying everything they could get their hands on. And of course, toilet paper and other paper goods were really hard to come by. But it is worrisome just how many people are not prepared for if something were to happen where they had to go 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks without going to the grocery store.
And I don't know about everybody else, but I stared at that and I said, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be somebody who feels that afraid, right? It's the thing I wanted to avoid was the idea of fear. I wanted to be able to look at my wife and look at my kids and say, guys, we're fine, right? No electricity or no internet. We're fine. There is food. We have the ability to boil water. We're going to be okay. And we have water. We're going to be fine. Rain barrels, I absolutely favor rain barrels. It's the only thing I don't have. Now that the studio's done, that is coming. Rain barrel will be next. It's not, it doesn't make you weird. I think that not being prepared for some level of inconvenience makes you weird. Do I think that you have to be prepared for World War III? No. And I know that there are some people who are. You live your life, kitten. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But the idea of not being prepared and not thinking that you need to be prepared, it was not only frightening to me, if you will, I thought it was gross to want to put yourself in a position to be that vulnerable. I'm like, I don't want this. Let me now take steps.
I worry about the people who are consumed with it, though. I've got a friend who, I mean, if I went to his house and got into his basement, I think he probably has 7 years worth of food, and he's got the solar panels where, he's completely off the grid when he wants to be off the grid, and that's fine. And it's not a criticism, but it's part of his identity now, and he's consumed by it. And I don't know if that's healthy, consumed with the idea that doomsday could be right around the corner.
I don't want to be consumed with anything except family. That is it. I want to be somebody who's capable of handling the basic problems and then having time to figure out if I think the problem is going to get worse, right? Being a generalized level of prepared. And so the tourniquet and the quick clot, CLOT, was about being prepared if something bad happens. And we've seen a lot of bad things happen.
How much something like that cost?
I don't recall. I really don't recall. But, your local, Amazon probably has it, something like that. I just think it's a good idea. Eat, drink, smoke. It is your cigar, bourbon, foodie extravaganza. I'm Tony Katz. I did it again. Extravaganza.
That's okay.
I gotta stop. Can't.
125 proof whiskey will do that to you.
125.4. I'm Tony Katz. That is Fingers Malloy. We are drinking Obtainium Kentucky whiskey, the Master Collection Series. This is 6-year bourbon. Actually, it's not bourbon. It's whiskey. 125.4 proof. We couldn't find out anything about it. Not a thing about it. From the Cat's Eye Distillery in Bettendorf, Iowa. Couldn't find out anything about them. Fascinating. Someone gave it to me as a gift. And we're like, well, it can sit in there or we can try it. And what did we come to? It had a tremendous punch when you tried it. There was a little bit of I got cocoa on the nose. You got cocoa on the palate.
Yeah.
I thought it had a really, really joyous finish. But man, when that went down, that hit hard. Let me say it again. Hard, fingers away. I'm going in and doing it neat one more time.
Oh, he's going to go in neat. He's doing what we like to call the Memphis Munch.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It hits, man. But it's sweeter than you would think. There isn't really a spice going on, except for a real tingling on the tongue, and it's there's I think I said pina colada earlier, and it's just that kind of. You had said chocolate, and to me, it's like I understand how it presents that way. Like I almost want to say there was a fruit cream going on, but then again, I go back to the pina colada. But there is a darker fruit presence that I can't put my finger on.
You're not getting coconut though.
I'm going back in.
He's going back in, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing the Kentucky Chew.
No. Smooth. Damn.
Okay, I want to clarify something though. This isn't harsh.
No, it just wants you to know it's there. Right?
Yeah.
It definitely wants you to know. Now, you added a little bit of water to yours.
Yes, I did.
And I'm putting mine. I don't have a big rock today. I just have some ice chips. So I'm going with that.
Oh
right
my
there.
goodness. Okay, I haven't tried it yet.
Hold on, let me cleanse the palate.
Get the nose on that with I put a little bit more water in there than I normally do, but not a whole lot.
Right.
I only put like a couple of drops. That's more like 5 drops of water in it.
So water will open things up. Some flavors more pronounced, some flavors more muted, and water brings down proof. It's the only thing that brings down proof.
How much more pleasant is that on the nose?
That's nice. Yeah, it ripped away the ethanol. That's pretty. That's pretty. I think there are a couple more flavors without the water on the nose.
I'm actually getting a little caramel now that I didn't get before.
Yeah. Like I'm wondering, like we said, there was no oak. I'm wondering if it's just getting drowned out and you got to really search for it. If that's what it is that I'm experiencing. You're going to try it with a little bit of cool water. Go in there.
I'm going to experience it right now.
Go in there, fingers boy. The Obtainium Master Collection Series. And if you've had this before, the Kentucky whiskey or any of the Obtainium products, let us know at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. Would love to know what your experience is.
Okay.
Fingers?
That sting is still there on the tongue. There's the warmth going down. That chocolate's still there for me. And I got this at the end on the finish. And I didn't really describe it when we first started the review. There's a little bit of apple for me. And now a little bit of caramel. It's there.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And it totally, it really, I mean, that ethanol is it's barely there.
All right, I'm going in.
Okay.
I'm going in right here. The Obtainium Kentucky whiskey. I've got on a couple ice chips.
He's going in, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, he looks like he's enjoying himself.
All right, through the nose.
We really need to videotape this segment.
Oh,
He almost did a Ralph Cramden.
oh my God, it's still going. Oh my God.
Hamina, 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 hamina.
The spice build. Holy. I have to take a drink. No, I'm sorry.
He took, actually, he
My chest is on fire.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there you go. Oh my God. Oh, like I think I'm sweating. Holy cow, he's taking it. He's doing it with the ice. I have never, ever had anything hit me with that much strength. Oh my God.
Now I'm getting banana.
Which I got on the nose earlier. Hold on, I'm going back in.
This is,
I'm willing to die for you, Eat, Drink, Smoke Nation.
this is wild. I don't think we've experienced anything like this.
Wow. Hold on.
And by the way, I think this is the most I've seen him sip in a half an hour.
This is absolute. This is fascinating. No, it's. I should have gone with one ice chip because it's melting a little faster, as opposed to a big rock, which will take a little more time. It's nice. I get what you're saying about the banana. It's sweetened. The first sip was spice. I still feel it in the throat. I feel it from the top to the bottom. My chest was on fire. Now, maybe because all those taste buds are dead. A little bit of sweetness.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I think people would dig the crap out of it for how crazy it is.
Yeah.
All the experiences we're getting out of this, and it looks like an old apothecary bottle. It's squat, but it's rounded at the top, and it's like, oh, I have just the perfect elixir for your gout. and someone would pull it out for you. If you've had it, I would love to hear what you think of
I would definitely, if I brought up that bottle to a party, I would have the Glencairn glasses. I would have rocks glasses. I'd be like, okay, try it neat, try it with water, try it on the rocks.
Yeah, in every way. We were able to find the Master Collection Series light whiskey, and that is a $67. For $67, Fingers Malloy, is this in your liquor cabinet?
Yes. Yeah, for the experience. Absolutely.
Yeah,
This is
I
wild.
get what you're saying. This is nuts. Absolutely, positively nutty, unique, different, and not bad. Just, I mean, it's honestly, my chest is still ablaze. Still on. I have to take a drink of my regular drink.
I mean, clearly this is not your everyday whiskey. You're not going to want to have this every day. It's a special occasion.
That's cuckoo.
Yep.
That is cuckoo McGo-nuts. And we've got that with the Warped Cigar, WARPED, Warped Cigar. We're doing the Serie Gran Reserva 1988, which has that Nicaraguan Corojo wrapper. It is Criollo in the filler, Nicaraguan in the binder. There was a lot of spice on this cigar.
Not anymore.
And earlier in the first third, I'm like, you know what? It's $9 a stick. It's not my flavor profile. I can appreciate what's going on, but it's not where I like to live and breathe. It's not in my humidor for $9. You said it's in yours. You're now into the second third. Is this in your humidor?
I don't know. You're not getting a little bit of a scent of the farm on this at all?
Not really, no. You know what we mean by scent of the farm, guys, right? We mean like if you're on a farm and you're like, oh, that's a farm. That's what we're getting. I don't get that.
This whiskey is overpowering the cigar for me. That spice is gone on the cigar, and I don't know if it's because the cigar has changed or my palate has been radically kicked in the palate with this whiskey. It's probably still in my humidor as a special occasion stick, even though it's only $9.
But if you like big spice, black pepper, white pepper, and a little bit of a kind of chewy undercurrent, I can see why people get this cigar. I can. So much taken in by the bourbon and cigars today, really trying to explore them. We didn't get to the news of the week. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. Every week, we try and bring you the news that nobody else is bringing and no one can deliver, quite like America's happy hour anchorman, Johnny Good News himself, Fingers Malloy. Fingers Malloy, it is time for News of the Week.
Well, the speculation is over. The Fed has announced an interest rate cut of 0.5 point, Tony.
Dude, knock me over with a feather. And it was just 2 weeks ago where the odds of a 0.25 point, according to the traders, was 83%. And then, so that happened on a Wednesday. And the odds in the overnight, Tuesday to Wednesday, were 66% for a 0.5 point cut. And then right before, the odds were 55-45. So basically, it was a 50-50 kind of split on whether it would be a quarter point or a half point. Jerome Powell going with the half point cut, and it was not unanimous amongst Fed board members. Someone did vote against this. Someone wanted the quarter point cut. The market may be pleased, but one of the pieces of information within the commentary of the Federal Reserve was their rate, the objective they're going for inflation is 1% to 2%, and they don't see themselves hitting that rate till after 2025. Translation, they're going to cut a full point in 2024, so you're going to get another half point rate cut. They're expecting to do a full point in 2025, and even still, inflation may not be below 2%. And the translation of that is Wall Street might be happy, but Midwest Main Street, we're still paying way too much for eggs.
Yeah, that's my question is, I heard some people say that they believe that they've beat inflation. And I don't know of too many people on Main Street who believe that. Is this just going to put a shot in the arm when it comes to inflation? Inflation's going to spike right back up to the rates that we were seeing earlier this year. It's going to be interesting to watch. I was expecting a quarter point because that's what it seemed like everybody was saying. That's what the speculation was. My dad's buying a car next week, and he wanted to make the decision and get everything done last week. And I said, Dad, probably a good idea to hold off. I'm going to be interested to see what this does for, the refinancing of mortgages is
going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
Going to go through the roof. Absolutely, a car rate should go down. By definition, a car rate should go down if it's new, maybe compared to used, different markets. But with the housing, you hit it right. The refinances are going to go bananas. If you bought at 7.5, and now it's possible that if you take a look at where the 10-year treasury is, because the 30-year fix is based on that, and we've seen 30 years at 6.25. If you get to 5 anything, everybody and their mother is refinancing if they were in the 7s.
Yeah.
Everybody and their mother is going to refinance. But it doesn't necessarily change the people engaging in applications for a purchase of a home, because there's nothing saying here that people are still are going to sell, because housing is still too expensive. And there certainly isn't enough. People aren't leaving their houses because they're taking a look at interest rates. And some of those people who've been in their house for 22 years are going to take a look at 5.95 and say, it's still too high. I'm only paying 2.9.
Well,
or my mortgage is paid off. Forget it. We stay where we are.
That's what's so interesting about a lot of this, is because I know that there are probably a lot of people out there right now, because we're seeing the figures out there about record credit card debt, that they would love to be able to pull some money out of their home to maybe pay that credit card debt off. But if you've got a mortgage that's 3%, you're not about to do that unless you're in really desperate straits and it makes financial sense for you to refinance, pull some money, some equity out of your home to pay your credit card debt off. If it's still in the 6s, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Credit card debt, by the way, as of last quarter, $1.14 trillion. That's credit card debt. It's a massive number. And this rate cut, I don't think, makes it easier on those people to pay off debt. Maybe some people in the refis will do that, but maybe some people in the refis will say, let's invest it now and don't worry about the credit card debt.
Yeah, that, and you have to wonder how it's going to affect the real estate market, because there are people that have probably been waiting to buy a home for the interest rates to go down. But if the supply of the homes aren't going up, you're just going to have more buyers out there, which is going to raise the price of homes. And so
this has been Basic Economics with Fingers Malloy.
And this, again, hurts a homeowner that is saying to themselves, well, this is great that the value of my home is going up, but chances are that means my property taxes are going to go up, which means my homeowner's insurance is probably going to go up. So the cost of owning your home is going to continue to increase, even if you have that low interest rate.
This has been the Happy American with Fingers Malloy. Be sure to get the podcast. You've hit all the nails on all the heads, man. We are exacerbating inflation with this cut. I get that Wall Street wanted it, and there's a real argument that these higher rates are hurting the people on Midwest Main Street, the everyday investor instead of the institutional investor. Charles Payne, Fox Business, who I've had on my other shows, discusses this often. I still cannot, if we don't have inflation under control, cutting rates is anathema. It's a mistake. And I'm worried about what we're going to see on the other side. Cash moving into the market, and you still have China in recession. They're still not manufacturing like they used to. So now you're going to go to other places with a lot of people going to these other places that don't have the capacity to keep up. So too much cash, not enough stuff. That is how you get inflation. I see it remaining and growing. Gosh, I hope I'm wrong.
Can we talk about something else that's terrible?
Oh, would you please?
Social media, Tony.
Oh, good Lord.
Social media platforms. But actually, this is a good move by Instagram. Instagram is now making teen accounts private by default as it tries to make the platform safer for children amid a growing backlash against how social media affects young people's lives.
What?
So if you are a youngster, a teenager, and you are
one of the youths,
and you are opening an Instagram account, it will automatically be private. So people, lurkers, looky-loos, won't be able to get access to your Instagram account.
Nice, good. How about not letting your kids be on Instagram?
What do you think is the proper age? Because there is
40.
I thought you were going to say never.
Maybe never.
I love Instagram.
Do you?
Instagram to me is what Twitter was in 2011. There's a lot of fun things going on over there. I mean, if you get past the people that are trying to sell you on their OnlyFans account, I mean, a lot of fun parody videos, a lot of great cooking videos.
I didn't know there was anything else except people trying to sell me their OnlyFans. Maybe it's how I search. Maybe that's the problem. You watch cooking videos on Instagram?
Everyone needs a hobby. I like food.
Is that what?
This just in.
I do wonder. It's not a bad idea. It's smart for Instagram to do, for Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, to do. I just don't know. I just don't know if that's solving a problem or just pretend on solving a problem. From Warped, we are smoking the Serie Gran Reserva 1988 Robusto 5 1/4 by 50. A lot of spice. A lot of spice and a lot of spice. If that's what you like, it's a cigar you should try. $9 a stick. And the Obtainium Kentucky whiskey at 125.4 proof. We've seen bottles like it at $67. Weird, unique, big, with flavor. Definitely, if you can find it, worth trying. If you know anything about it, tell us your experience about it. Over at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. This is Eat Drink Smoke.
Follow Eat Drink Smoke on social media, on Twitter at Go Eat Drink Smoke, on Facebook, facebook.com/Eat Drink Smoke, and Instagram at Eat Drink Smoke Podcast.